This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome in. There's a lot happening here, and we're happy that you're along for the ride. Kelly Sutton, Charlie Matos, Annie Nye, Jeff Roberts is upstairs pushing buttons and making things happen as we go all around the world on CircleCountry.com. Also, you're watching us on Peacock and Roku and Zumo and Tubi and all the places that we stream. And we're happy that you are a part of the family today. We got lots to get to. Entertainment headlines. I've already talked about this a little bit, but in case you weren't here for it, we do believe that we have some investigating to do. So this is like my investigative journalism skills. You know, I do have a broadcast journalism degree. So.
I understand that, yes.
Investigative journalism skills will be put to use this morning as we go into some internet sleuthing. Did Lainey Wilson actually buy George Jones's house and we just didn't know it? There are so many clues, so many Easter eggs. And if we find out that this is true, then I'm going to be like, why did we not see it before? There were signs.
This is very Taylor of her.
It is, right? Which I kind of dig. So, yeah, we'll tell you more about that coming up in a little bit in entertainment headlines. Plus, we have Dierks Bentley going out on tour. Very exciting. And he's also going to be headlining a really big festival. So we're going to talk about that. Jelly Roll, Post Malone, both together. They're going out on tour as well. So lots coming our way.
And to those of you watching on Circle Television, streaming us on Peacock, Roku, Zumo, Tubi, and digging out from lots of snow, don't make fun of us as we get ready for our 1 to 3 inches here in Nashville.
Our sad little snowpocalypse.
Which will still paralyze our city.
It will paralyze our city. Yeah. We don't know how to do that. We try desperately.
I've lived here long enough that I'm fearful of 1 to 3 inches. That's what this has done to me.
Absolutely.
South. Yes.
We will be going to get milk and bread as soon as this show wraps.
We need milk. I know. I'm such a joke.
Same. Also, we got Adam Hood. Adam Hood is going to be joining us live here in the studio coming up in just a little bit. Headed off to Woodstock, Georgia this Thursday night.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
We just opened the door and he walked in. Good morning and hello, Adam Hood. How are you?
I'm doing good, Kelly. How you doing?
I'm good. You came rolling in on 2 wheels, man.
My life.
That's, you know what? Sometimes that just makes life more exciting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess no. Never a dull moment. Well, I haven't been to the new studio.
Welcome.
So I know. I did all this walking and I went there and I said, well, where is the show at?
Right. So, it's not there, and nothing is there. There's a wall there now.
Lesson learned. That's right. Yeah, now I know for sure.
Oh,
it's a great place. It's cool.
Well, we're glad you made it over.
Me too. Thank you for having me, as always.
What's been going on? You got some new stuff working.
Just plowing, just trying to write songs and just dig up some new dirt. Yeah, I got a song called 4 on the Floor that I just put out with Brent Kyle. We put it out on Valentine's Day. Ain't that sweet?
That's so sweet.
Me and Brent.
I love it. Y'all are a bromance.
Yeah, it is. It is a bromance. It's the love-hate of a bromance, for sure.
Where did you guys meet? How did that all happen?
So we met. I started writing for Carnival Music, which is Frank Liddell, in 2010, I believe.
Okay.
And we were talking about this the other day. I was under the assumption that I had been there for a year, but I think I started in January 2010, and Brent had come in like November, December 2010.
Okay.
And so I'm from East Alabama. He's from kind of West Central Georgia. We grew up about 2 hours from each other.
You're from Opelika,
That's right. I'm from Opelika.
Yeah. Opelika meets Ella J,
correct.
if I remember correctly, right?
Oh, wow. That's an album waiting to happen.
I know, right? Yeah. I know. That's kind of the hope for this.
Yeah.
That's a good title. I'll give you credit for that.
Opelika meets
Hey, wait
Ella
a
J.
minute. Give
Charlie,
I'll
get Charlie credit.
Right.
Thank you.
Listen,
there's plenty of money to go around.
Okay.
Is there? Okay.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I have to tell, this is just an aside, but it's very funny. I saw that you were from Opelika, and years ago, I worked for a cheerleading company, and we would have these big competitions here at the hotel. Mm-hmm. And they knew I was a broadcasting major, and so they would let me do the announcements. And so I would say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mat, Franklin High School from Franklin, Tennessee. The Opelika cheerleaders were there.
Uh-huh.
I'd never seen this before. So I said, please welcome Opelika High School.
Oh, wow. That's new. I hadn't heard that.
At the entire same time, Adam, 250 angry parents all screamed in unison, Opelika! And I said, I'm I'm sorry. Please welcome Opelika High School from Opelika, Alabama. But I would never forget it from that moment on.
Yeah.
I've never messed it up
Welcome.
since.
Now, the other guest
Opelika.
from that city who has joined us many times is our buddy, funny man Dusty Slay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you Dusty crossed paths at all?
We haven't crossed paths, strangely enough. In fact, I didn't even know that he was from Opelika until I saw him post something on social media. He had like a Chuck's Barbecue shirt on. And I mean, there's one Chuck's Barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah. And I texted him, or I messaged him, because we had kind of spoken back and forth, just, I like your music, I think you're a funny guy, blah, 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 this
Right.
normal conversation. And so I said, hey, I saw you had that Chuck shirt on. Go ahead. And he said, yeah. He said he used to work at a chicken finger place that Chuck's family owned and all this stuff. And so, yeah, small world. I had no idea.
Isn't it fun?
It is.
It's fun when you find somebody from home.
Especially in hindsight.
So talk to us about the first cut that you had. Take us back. You came to town, you're writing, it's 2010. Do you remember? Because I'm sure that there was the they're going to put it on hold, and then it was on hold, and then it got dropped and all that stuff. So the first one that you actually knew was going, first song.
Danny Goki cut a song called Be Somebody that I wrote with Greg Barnhill and Joanna Cotton.
Yeah.
So, and that was great. I mean, Danny's great. It's a pretty, well, if you know Greg and Joanna, they're on the bluesier side of things.
Yeah.
And so it's a pretty involved song, kind of sits in a higher register. Not anybody and their mama could sing this tune, And so, he cut that song. So, and it was great. I'm really, really proud of it.
Did you feel like at that point, okay, this is legit, we're doing it?
I don't feel that way now, to be honest.
What? Come on. After all the things that you've had happen?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is there a moment where you thought, I'm never going to have to go work at Chuck's Barbecue back in Opelika? Was there one song or one moment that you kind of said, okay, this is solidified, we're good?
Well, the Opry was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, Jason Eady and I talk about this a lot because he's another dear friend of mine. And Jason he did his November. It was like 2 years ago. So mine was in October. My first time was in October, and his was in November. And we got together and just kind of talked about it. And it's almost like this. It's almost like this interesting kind of welcoming committee that you sort of feel like, okay, now country music as a whole. If country music were a place, an entity, this is kind of where it is, And so that felt like a real acceptance that I kind of didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Like there's, you have, I don't know what I expected, to be honest with you, but I didn't expect to feel welcomed into country music, if that makes sense.
Well, and what's interesting too is we've had a lot of artists say their family reaction to them playing the Opry was really interesting. I mean, we've had people with number one records, they've sold out arenas, but when they played the Opry, it's like, I wish I remember who it was. It was like, oh yeah, when I played the Opry, that's when it became real for my family.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You're right. People that cousins and extended family and folks that are still asking you, are you doing this? You know what I mean? Like they kind of quit asking.
Yes, I am. And I'm doing okay
Yes.
with it. So tell us about Four on the Floor before we play it.
So speaking of my first year at Carnival and when Brent and I started writing together, this is one that we wrote kind of in that first year. And Brent and Jason Sines and I wrote it, and that was, the three of us were kind of a trio that we wrote a lot of great songs together, and we had a lot of good times in that time period. But so Brent and I have been making records. He's been producing my stuff for recently. So I'm starting with the Bad Days Better record. We put that out 2020, and we have released 4 or 5 singles after that, and we've all done it at Capricorn Studios in Macon, Georgia, which they've kind of revitalized and opened back up again. And so it's kind of, they've sort of given Brent the keys to the place for better or worse. but we've been making some music down there, and so we just it's nice to sort of have catalog that you can go back to that's that far back. That still resonates, and still we can look through these songs and listen to them and go, okay, I lay this down.
So when did you guys do this? When is it older?
Yeah, it's like 2010. This was our first year at Carnival.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so an old song, yeah.
Oh, old song made new. All
That's right.
We're going to play it right now on WSM. It's Four on the Floor. Our buddy is Adam Hood. He's going to be with us, and we'll talk more with him after the song. Hang tight.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
I'm just looking. Adam Hood has a lot of different dates lined up. He's going to be playing in Woodstock, Georgia, and then you come back and you're in Tennessee. You're hopping all around. You've got like back-to-back shows. You know that, right?
Right, yeah.
You do that on purpose?
I just say yes as much as I can.
I'm like, man, you're really busy.
I say yes, and then we figure it out after that. So.
That's a good thing.
But busy's good. I'm glad. I mean, touring to promote a single, and there's
Right.
always stuff to kind of promote. So you sort of thankful for anybody that'll let us come play for them.
What is the busiest time of year for you? I always find it fascinating. Certain people love, like, they're out all summer, other people in the fall. And then there are people that are like, hey, let me do the bulk of what I can do in the early spring, and then I'm going to take some time off when it gets hot.
It seems like early spring is usually probably the busiest time.
Okay.
Because I have, ironically, my January is always full. There's a few festivals that we do that just kind of wind up taking up my January. And then February is it's always busy, but you're kind of doing like this, like you're sort of trying to navigate freezing cold weather and stuff like
Sure.
that. So it's a little different. But then once the thaw comes, I think it's kind of a mad dash to sort of have some live music and stuff like that. So we stay really busy. I mean, having to sort of pick and choose kind of what we want to do.
Absolutely.
March, April.
You referenced as a songwriter, Danny Gokey was your first cut, but it's a pretty impressive list of artists who have cut your songs. Little Big Town, Miranda Lambert, Anderson East, Josh Abbott, Leanne Womack have all cut your songs as well. It's pretty cool.
It's been pretty cool.
Who's changed a song the most from like the demo or your version of it? Has anybody really tweaked it a lot?
Frankie Ballard cut a song called Grandpa's Farm that I wrote with Jason and Brent, in fact. And a lot of people cut that song. Drake White cut it. Angie Johnson, Sarah Evans recorded it. I did a version of it. But Frankie did the first version. David Nail, he did a great version of it. But Frankie did the first version of it. And I think there was it, and it wasn't lyrical arrangements, but there were choruses became verses and then things like that, So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
That's very
And I don't
interesting.
really have a whole lot to say about that kind of stuff, I feel like that it's sort of your prerogative. And I'm kind of curious to see what liberties other artists take with songs,
It is fascinating. Like, here's
Yeah.
the source material, and then you're going to tweak it and make it your own.
Right.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I always think, because I want them to do that. I want, if you're going to record a song that I've written, I'd like for you to take it and make it your own. That's kind of the deal, I mean.
Well, tell us about Bills in Alabama.
That song is pretty much, I kind of laughingly make the joke that Alabama's a great place to be from unless you're a songwriter, and then there aren't many of us in the workforce in Alabama, and so that's kind of what the song's about.
Man, that's amazing. Your fingers are really nimble for being this early in the
Thank
morning.
you very much. Thank you for saying so. They don't feel
Yeah.
very nimble. I feel like I trip over them all the time.
And for being
look
like
at it.
20 degrees outside,
Right?
too. Yeah.
I know, it
That's
makes a lot of difference.
incredible. We were talking about this before you came back on the air, but you have a song with Ella Langley. So how did that happen?
Well, Ella is from south of Montgomery, Alabama, and so I kind of remember her as a teenager, basically,
Right, yeah.
And just like, I mean, you'd be surprised all the people that have opened for us before. And so, so she's been familiar with my music and the same thing. And the song is called Buzzes Like Neon, and we went in and re-recorded the album that it was on. And so when we did that, I just had the opportunity, and I asked her if she'd sing a verse, and she did, and it's been really good for us. This was kind of before Ella became Ella.
Right.
I
was going to say, now people are searching out her music and they're
Yeah.
finding it. And that is such a cool connection.
It's really cool
when stuff like that happens.
It's good to see how well she's doing.
Yeah.
So Alabama has come in conversation a lot this morning. And if folks were with us when we started with Adam, you heard Opelika. And you must think, wow, this must be in the middle of nowhere. But literally, from the main drag of Opelika to Auburn University is 8 miles.
Exactly.
So you got to grow up War Eagle if you grow up in Opelika, right? I don't think Roll Tide goes over too well right
Correct.
there.
It does not. However, I live in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, no.
Married a Bama graduate. Married to a whole family of Bama graduates. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm just from up.
What is that day like at your house?
It's fine until one day. There's one day.
Right.
Yeah, but this year basketball's messing stuff up.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's weird in itself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
fact that Auburn is doing anything, SEC basketball. I guess there's Kentucky and Missouri and stuff like that, but Alabama's never really been a powerhouse. I say they never have, but growing up.
But for so many teams to be good, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Yeah, and Auburn to be doing so well, it's pretty impressive.
I have to give a shout out to your merch. I am on adamhood.com.
I saw these this morning.
There's
too.
limited edition merch there that says Hood AF, and I kind of love it.
Right.
Is that your brainchild?
My wife.
Yeah.
Kudos.
All the good ideas, man. She does all the
Kudos.
good. If she could sing, I'd be out of a job. I'd be washing dishes somewhere.
I just saw this, and I'm like, oh, I need a T-shirt that says Hood AF.
I have a lot of interesting emails and text messages and stuff about people wearing that to family reunions and PTA meetings and stuff like
That's
that.
good. Well, safe travels. I know you're going down to Woodstock, Georgia. Then you're in Greenville, South Carolina. Then you're back in Maryville, Tennessee. So that's coming up at the Shed out in Oklahoma. Man, you are on the road. So safe travels. Thanks for stopping in and seeing us.
Thank you guys for having me. It's good to see you again.
Stay healthy, too, like all of us. Adam's the only healthy one in his household.
Yeah, that's right.
So stay healthy.
Next.
Yeah.
Listen, that hand sanitizer, you need it in gallons right now. Adam Hood with us this morning. We've got more here on Coffee Country and Cody. Good morning and welcome, Coffee Country and Cody. It's Kelly Sutton and Charlie Matos and Annie Nye and Jeff Roberts. And I think Hank is around here somewhere, Hank Elliott. We have a full house today as we are talking about entertainment headlines. So many things that have been happening. Post Malone and Jelly Roll, they announced that they're going out on tour together this summer, right? We knew that already. I don't know if I can say the name of the tour. We were kind of skirting around it. I was calling it ASH, the big...
It's the Big A tour.
The Big A tour. There you go. So it's the Big A Stadium Tour. And now they've announced the Big A World Tour. This is so fun. They've got like 18 European dates, including a handful of festivals. But here's the thing, and this is what my mind immediately went to, and then as I was kind of digging into it, I'm like, oh yeah. If you remember, our friend Jelly, he had some problems with the law and has a prior felony conviction, which makes it very difficult for him to travel internationally. In fact, like in 2023, he had a show that was in London that ended up being canceled because London wouldn't allow him in. So apparently all of that's been worked out. I am sure they would not be announcing a world tour if they didn't think he was going to be allowed into places like Germany and Denmark and Sweden and all the other places that they have on this world tour.
I think the Canadians were the first one to say welcome.
Yes.
Just a few months back.
Which seems very apropos.
Yes.
Canadians are truly pretty nice people.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're going to be heading overseas. I think this is really going to be one of the first times, well, it will be the first time that Jelly has gone out of the country other than Canada. He said the trick is when America says you can leave, finally, the amount of countries that won't let you come in. He said that's the problem. It's not that America is saying I can't go. It's the other countries are like, we're not sure if we're going to let you in. So I'm pretty sure that his track record has improved enough that they'll be like, yeah, we'll let you come in and play for us. Again, those are going to be happening throughout April through July. So now it's going all the way through September with all the new added dates. So wherever you're listening, Post Malone and Jelly Roll are coming near you.
A few well-placed comp tickets to certain officials makes everything easy.
You're not wrong.
Yep.
You're not wrong. Jelly has a new club if you want to join it. He's doing another 5K, and he's inviting all of us to come and do it with him. He's on that fitness journey, y'all. He's lost over 100 pounds already, and he started something called the Losers Run Club. So if you want to be a part of it, there's going to be a Facebook group. He's also going to have an app that you can download and join in. His trainer is going to be on there helping everybody get ready for a 5K. The 5K he's doing is going to be in Tampa in May, which I don't know why Tampa in May, because it's going to be hot. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to run when it's hot outside, Jelly. Just giving you a little heads up on that. Anyway, if you want to be a part of it, you can find all of the information. Just follow Jelly Roll on any of his social media and also join up with that Facebook group because that's going to be so much fun. All right, Drew Baldridge. Man, it has been so fun to watch him continue to rise. He had his first #1, and this was a song that was it was improbable that it was going to go number one because he'd been dropped from his label and he was self-funding it. He said it wasn't just his sacrifice, it was also his wife Katie's. Take a listen.
She sacrificed just as much as I did to get this number one. And for those that don't know, I funded this myself, created my own label to do this. And so I say it was also my wife's money too that we funded this together. So it was just like, hey, let's go celebrate what we did. We have a little boy that turns 2 in December, and I've missed out a lot of time with him trying to get this song up the radio chart. And so it was a very, very awesome celebration.
Oh, I just love that for him. Congratulations, Drew Baldridge. Of course, that was She's Somebody's Daughter. And now he has a follow-up to that. And he's going to be playing at the Grand Ole Opry tomorrow night.
I bet you we might just hear them both.
Oh, that would be really special.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
He's taking a little time to come in and talk to us before things get really heated. There are some big shows on the way for Cody Canada. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
All right, so you came up from Texas. Sorry it's so cold. You said it's been cold down there, too.
It's cold down there. I live in New Braunfels, which is San Antonio-ish. And
Green Hall?
yeah, I live I can hear the bass line in my
Are
backyard.
you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It used to be a lot louder. They put a big road out front, so I can still hear it on Saturday night. But
That's kind of cool if that's your white noise.
it is.
Sure.
It is. It's very nice. We'll sit on the back porch, and when I realized it was my buddy Ray Wiley Hubbard. We were supposed to go. My wife and I were supposed to go see him on a Friday night, and it just escaped my mind because I had a Friday night off. So I was enjoying myself in the backyard, and I heard a bass line. I was like, I recognize that song. It was like, oh, we're supposed to be at Green Hall right now.
Sorry, Ray. Sorry
Right.
if you're hearing it now.
I got to work his Grand Ole Opry debut, and it was
nice.
just cool hearing Snake Farm in the circle at the Grand Ole Opry House.
He's such a good guy. He gave me great advice when I was younger. He said, write as much as you can while you're young and inspired, because when you get old, you don't have to do it as much.
It's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Play the old stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, keep dropping new stuff, but write a lot in the beginning. He said, the older you get, the less inspired you are with the world. I don't know if that was like positive advice.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the big shows that are coming up. Cross Canadian Ragweed fans are like no other fans.
They're pretty crazy.
Y'all got started like, what, 2010?
We ended
Ish?
in 2010.
2010, okay.
We started in 94, and then we came out here. The good folks at Universal South pursued us, which was really great. We didn't have to do the work on that part.
Right.
And we came out here and did, I think, 4 records with them, and then we had, or maybe 5 records. And then, man, we were just overworked, and we all started having kids.
Yeah.
And we just kind of said, hiatus time.
Yeah.
And that was 15 years ago.
Well, being on the road as many dates as you guys were doing, that is a lot of wear and tear.
There was one year it was 260.
Holy cow. Yeah, that's untenable. You can't do that for long.
Yeah, that was just shows, that wasn't
Right.
travel. So I remember my bass player saying, I think I spent 30 days in my living room this year. It's like, okay, it's probably time to tap the brakes. But
Absolutely.
it was good, and I don't think that doing the whole comeback thing would have worked 10 years ago. I think it's better that it happened now. And everybody's happy, and everybody's grinning, and everybody's loving each other, and all of our kids are the same age, exactly almost. Exactly
that's
almost.
so cool.
Yeah.
You're going to be at Oklahoma State University. It's fun. You can go on the website. They're all sold out. You can't get in any of those shows. But I was just noticing like the lineup for that night with Stoney LaRue. I mean, you've got Turnpike Troubadours are going to be a part of that show. These are massive numbers of people that are coming out to see you.
Yeah.
It has to be gratifying to know that, time has gone by, but people love and miss your music so much that they're coming out in droves.
It was very humbling. It was a little terrifying.
Was it?
Well, so we've been talking about it for a couple of years, and my booking agent, John Folk, William Morris, he's the one that really got it going.
Okay.
I mean, he said don't give him credit, but I have to give him credit. He's the one that said, let's do a couple, see what happens, and because there've been a lot of years in between,
Right.
and You know, and I still play the songs because they were my songs. And although it was different versions, I always said that the Departed is more the Grateful Dead versions of the Ragweed songs. They stretch over 8 minutes apiece, which is where we are. But, you know, he sat down and talked to me about it, and I mowed it over with my wife and my kids, and it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And I thought we were going to sell 20,000 tickets, and we ended up selling 48. And then they added a night 2 the same day, and then the next day they added 3 and 4, so 183,000 in a town that's 50,000 people.
Yeah.
So
and then
Weedstock.
And then Waco's going to get you in August as well.
Waco in August, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody say when we announced that, they said, I don't know if I'm ready to risk my life in 107-degree temperatures for this band. But we're going to take care of everybody. We're going to have cooling systems, guys.
Now, I have a feeling, and I don't know how many, but I think it will be in the thousands, that you will have people at all 4 nights. I guarantee you there'll be a lot of people who will be there for all 4.
Yeah, there have been some of the old schoolers that, you know, have been asking for years. Mm-hmm. They said they're going all 4 nights, which is great to me because I come from the land of Pearl Jam, you know, so not every night is the same set list.
Right.
It's never the same set list.
It rewards the people who come again, which I love.
Yeah. And it you know, I don't want people to see because I had the first set list for the first night. It's like, this is what we have to do. This is going to be fun. And then 2, 3, and 4 happened. And then I wasn't scared of anything. I was just like, this is going to be really exciting to build a set list every night being different. And, man, I'm just so grateful that people were, I honestly didn't, I guess I was too close to it.
Yeah.
As my wife says, you were too close to it to realize the impact. So it's cool. Very awesome to be able to do this again with my pals.
You had a quick dry run in Key West for a few songs.
We did.
What did that feel like?
It was a fever dream. It was very fast. We weren't really supposed to do anything, and it was a surprise to me that our friends were doing our songs. And man, I think, I know we just missed him in the parking lot, but watching everybody sing the songs, but watching Adam Hood sing one of our B-sides, excuse me, watching Adam sing one of our B-sides, I remember looking at the guys in the band. It's like, we should do a few songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of wanting us to anyway. And so we said, you know, I say if we do more than 5 or 6 songs, then people are probably going to get upset that they missed the first rattle out of the box. Mm-hmm. But you know, man, it was all in good fun. It was all in reunion and family. We had all of our kids there, and our kids had never seen us. Like my youngest Willie, he'll be 17 in a few weeks, and he doesn't remember those Ragweed days. And Dirk's my oldest. He was here when we played the Opry, you know, but he doesn't remember that stuff either. So it was nice to see them on the side of the stage and seeing us in our natural element, I guess.
Well, we asked you which one you wanted us to play this morning. You said Sick and Tired.
Yeah, Sick and Tired. That one was, we played the Houston Rodeo with Leanne Womack, and we practiced. I asked her if she wanted to do a Willie Nelson song, and of course, her being her, she's like, which one? I know them all. So we ended up doing Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground, and then at the end of the night, I said, I want to write a song that we can sing together. And she said, say when. So this one really helped us. I don't know, it helped you. I feel like it helped us get the national attention that we were wanting.
All right, we're playing it right now all around the world. Cross-Canadian Ragweed, Leanne Womack. Cody Canada is in studio with us this morning on WSM.
Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
You know you're of a certain age when you get really excited about charcuterie boards, and that's what we're talking about. Cody Canada is in the studio with us. I just said, you're going to see Susie Boggess. Tell her that you want some of her soup. You know, she's got a whole cookbook with soup.
Yeah. She asked if we wanted to stay for dinner or just a charcuterie board.
And that's good, though. Charcuterie board from Susie.
That's kind of more our speed anyway.
Yeah. So. I can't remember which comedian it was, but Lunchables for adults.
That's it.
That's it.
That's exactly it. Now, we've been talking about so many wonderful things that are happening for Cross-Canadian Ragweed. You're doing dates coming up with The Departed, and you've got the first one, Backyard, coming up like week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah. We're doing San Antonio this weekend. New place that I haven't been. It's called Stable Hall, but all of our pals from Texas play there and rave about it, and it's only about 20 minutes from the house.
Nice.
And then we do Billy Bob's and then Kane's Ballroom, and really kind of a swath of the I-35 shows that I've always called home. So Kane's is my favorite, absolute
Is it?
Absolute favorite.
What is that vibe like? Because Charlie and I've never done
Yeah, I
Cane's.
just was mentioning that's one of my bucket list places to go.
It's like walking into the Ryman. It's that feeling, you know. Definitely not comparing the caliber of either, but it is. It's really that feeling of walking into something there's a reason that's here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bob Wills built the first stage with his own hands, and if you crawl under the stage if you go backstage in the hallway, and there's a little, we call it the John Malkovich door, and you go through that.
The John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Right, I love that.
And you can't sit up fully, but we always go down there after the shows and have a few drinks and take guitars and sing old Bob Wills songs, because he built the stage. Like if you're sitting Indian style, I mean, the stage is as tall as this desk, and it is from 1924.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking old as Disneyland, you know?
Yep.
And
That's so cool.
that's why, you know, and when we first started playing it, you know, it wasn't a real nice part of town, and Cane's was pretty run down, and then a guy named, the Rogers family took over, and Chad Rogers, and a bunch of bands pulled together and donated some of their money, and Ragweed was one of them, and they rebuilt it, and man, it's home. It is. It's Oklahoma's green hall.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you have, if my math, roughly since the start of Ragweed to the present day with Departed, you've probably done 3,000 to 4,000 shows. Is that a fair number?
That's pretty fair.
Okay. Is there a bucket list place that you still haven't made it to, and it's like, man, one day I'd love to do something there?
You know, it's really kind of all spins back to the Ragweed reunion. We, my family, we're metal people. Like
Yeah.
my family's metal, and I'm part metal. 25% titanium.
There you go.
But we saw a show underneath Madison Square Garden at the Hulu, and that's when I really got to thinking. I was like, man, if we did one show, capacity to Madison Square is 20,000. So that's where it got started for me. And then we moved and decided, you know, let's do it in Oklahoma first. But I think that's probably one of them.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to say that I played it once, whether it was the 4 o'clock spot for 10 bands, I'd take it. You know?
That's so cool.
The Hulu, by the way, I'm going to date myself here, but that is the old Felt Forum. Like the Doors played there in like '71. They did a lot of boxing shows there. It's been rehabbed. For a while, it was the theater at Madison Square Garden. I think it holds about 5,000, right? And then the big house is like 20,000 plus,
Yeah,
as you
and it's
mentioned.
just right upstairs.
Yeah, there's still something magical about saying Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. I mean, the old saying, "You're nobody until you play the square."
Yeah. So, well, you've done the Opry House though. What was that experience like?
God, that's been so long ago.
Yeah.
I remember that day very vividly, because we were with Dirks Bentley and my oldest boy Dirks. I think he was like a year old, maybe 2 years old. Man, it was crazy. You know, I remember thinking we're going to be a little too hard, because you know it's pretty rude guitar, loud, distorted guitar. You know, and I thought it might not fit. So we invited Dirks to sing a Merle Haggard song with us, just to maybe
Open the door a little bit.
ease our way.
Yeah.
Buffer things a little. Yeah.
Here's our friend Dirks.
Right?
He likes us. No.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
yeah.
But man, I remember sitting in the dressing room playing a couple of tunes, and Bill Anderson walked in and got down on the floor and started playing Cars with my kids, and I was like, this is better. I hadn't even walked out on stage. I was like, this is the story that I have is watching my youngest boy in his Peanuts shirt playing Cars with Whispering Bill. You know, so that's I'm always a fan. I'm a fan before I'm anything.
I love that. Well,
that's
talk about
my
your
experience.
relationship with Dirks, since you brought it up. I know you guys are close.
Well, pre kids or post restraining order.
Wherever you want to go with it, brother.
Let's keep it nice.
Okay.
No, we this is the best of my recollection. We played over in town and Exit In, and he was leaning against the wall, and we played Exit In all the time. And I remember our manager Enzo at the time. He said, "Hey, this is Dirks." It's like, let me guess, the next up and comer.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, he is." Like, well, I can see it. And sat back there and played a couple of tunes and talked. And he said that he liked the music, which I didn't know him. And I thought, let's test him. Mm-hmm. And he did. He knew some songs from like way back when we were teenagers. And so that really started the friendship. And then almost immediately we went on tour together. And then his first song took off. And then we went from the headlining band to opening for Dierks. And then he took us across the country. And we were pregnant. Shannon did all the work. She was pregnant. There were several names. Stokes was one. You guys remember the Lost Trailers?
Yeah.
Shooter was an idea. And I held on to Dierks, and I thought, she's not going to go for it. And I was pacing backstage at the House of Blues in New Orleans, and I called her because we were close.
Yeah.
And so if it's a boy, it's Mandy. If it's a girl, it's Mandy. If it's a boy, she goes, what about Dierks? I was like, that is a wonderful idea. I'm glad you thought. So
that's perfect.
I mean, Dierks means the world to me. That was a good few years. We did the High Times and Hangovers tours.
Yeah.
I think we did 3. And of course, he goes, we doing 4? Like, a year ago, I didn't think I'd be doing the ragweed thing. So, I mean, I'm not going to say no to anything anymore. So, it would be nice. He took us out when he went back to the bars after the pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
We went out with him, and, man, it was old times.
I love that.
I love the man with all my heart.
Well, congratulations on everything.
Thank
183,000 tickets already sold. More still to come with
Ragweed.
Ragweed. And then also all of your dates are all available. You can go to CodyCanada.com, find more information there.
Yep. Departed shows. I'm still pumping out songs from The Departed.
Love it.
No records as of yet, but just I hadn't had a record in 6 years. But somebody told me, just do singles for a while, see what happens. And
It's a singles market.
Yep.
that's what I keep hearing, so it's working.
And we got people watching and listening all over the country. So if you're anywhere near Cody and Shannon in Texas, you got a young aspiring musician there, check out their School of Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There you
very
go.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Love it.
my wife opened up a School of Rock in New Braunfels 6-7 years ago, and then we have another one we're about to break ground on in Kyle, Texas.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
I say we. I'm the janitor.
We're going to play If You Want It That Much to close out this morning. Cody, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
So good to see you.
Good to
Cody
be back
Canada
around.
with us this morning here on WSM.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
We are in our studio this morning, all tucked in and cozy. Good morning, everybody. It's Kelly Sutton, and we're talking about entertainment headlines. Jon Pardi's got a new one out. Man, he's been busy. He's cranking out some more music. This one is called Love the Lights Out. And I love the fact that he put it out just around Valentine's Day, kind of right in the middle of February, because it does have a message about a couple's passionate night. It's probably the easiest way to put it. Forthcoming album is coming out. He's announced that. So we're getting new music from Jon this year. That's going to be happening in April. April 11th is the drop date. It's called Honky Tonk Hollywood. And I think that pretty much sums up Jon Pardi. Ooh, I love that. All right, brand new Jon Pardi. Love You Till the Lights Out. And he has, as we mentioned, that full album coming in April, so you can be looking for that. Let's talk about Dierks Bentley. He just announced a new tour as well. He's like, hey, don't forget about me over here. I've got new music. I've got a new tour. So the tour is going to be called Broken Branches. Starts late May in Austin, goes all the way through into September. Now, Broken Branches, is that going to be the name of a new album? We don't know. Maybe. Some interesting looking like font, the way that like K is backwards in Dierks and the E is dropped down. There's probably a coded message in there, if I'm guessing. I mean, we know Dierks well enough to know there's more to it than just face value. The new song that he just released is called She Hates Me. It's hilarious, a la, drunk on a plane, somewhere on a beach. Fits right in that vein. Dierks Bentley with She Hates Me. So if you haven't heard it, look it up. Watch the video.
Yeah, I was going to say fun video on that one.
Highly recommend watching the video.
The devil horns in the mirror.
Right. There's a lot happening there. And somebody had a really good time making that video set because they destroyed a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You know, that in the day, that could have been a Hot Country Nights tune. I could have heard them covering that, I think. I mean, Dirk's kind of probably stole it from him. But
I wonder if Doug wrote that and Dirk's heard it.
Yeah, we got to cover this song. Yeah, that could be.
We should look and see when it comes out.
The writer's credits?
The writer's credits. Doug Douglason might be on there. Lainey Wilson may be hiding a huge secret. And this is something that I am perpetuating without much knowledge, but I do think there might be something to it. So remember, Lainey just got engaged. She posted a lot of pictures and videos from this gorgeous porch. And immediately I was like, where is she? Is she like on a college campus? Is that her house? Why are they getting engaged on the front porch of what looks like a beautiful building? So she walks down the stairs and an eagle-eyed observer, not me, but someone else, noticed that she steps down and there is a G and a J in the bricks. So you can see it. And if you look on the Zillow listing, that's George Jones's old house. It is south of our location here in Nashville. It's around Arrington Vineyards. I know exactly where it is. I've been there before. So that house was up for sale last year. Did Lainey Wilson buy George Jones's old house? Is she renovating it? And will she and Duck live there? I don't know. I mean, I feel like this could actually be part of a conspiracy theory, or maybe we're onto something. What do you think?
Or they just could be illegally on the property. Like, it would be cool to shoot it here, and no one's going to notice this.
Duck just reached out and he's like, "Hey, could you give us a tour of that house? We just want to see it." And then, real quick, when they're on the front porch, he just kneels down. He's like, "Don't mind me. I'm just going to put these candles over here just to see what it would look like." But yeah, it was for sale. $5.9 million. Beautiful property. I forgot how many years George and Nancy lived out there, but for years he used to do Christmas. You could go through and look at the lights. You could drive up and see it. I do remember that. Yeah, so I really am secretly hoping that there's more to this, that she actually did buy this property. And she has a song on her album right now, Whirlwind, that's called Keeping Up with Jones. So did she buy this house, then write that song, then release the album, then they get engaged there? I don't know. It feels perfect. Here's a sample of the song. She might actually be keeping up with Jones. She might be living in his old house. So we will keep our investigative journalism skills very sharp on this one, and we will let you know if we find out more about that. Drew Baldridge, congratulations for your number one hit and your now follow-up. He's going to be playing the Grand Ole Opry tomorrow night, by the way, which is really great for him. She's Somebody's Daughter went number one last August, but it didn't happen by chance. In fact, it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but not just from Drew, also from his wife, Katie. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Sacrificed just as much as I did to get this number one. And for those that don't know, I funded this myself, created my own label to do this. And so I say it was also my wife's money too that we funded this together. So it was just like, hey, let's go celebrate what we did. We have a little boy that turns 2 in December, and I've missed out a lot of time with him trying to get this song up the radio chart. And so it was a very, very awesome celebration.
Congratulations, Drew Baldridge. Going to be playing the Grand Ole Opry tomorrow night, as well as Jelly Roll. And let me just say, if you are still on your fitness journey, we're in February. If you still have those fitness goals, Jelly is helping you out. He's running another 5K. This one is going to be in Florida in May, and he wants you to join. He has now a Facebook group and an app that you can join. It's Jelly's Losers Run Club. And he wants everybody to run a 5K, whether you're actually physically there to run the 5K with him or you just do it virtually. Now you can train with his trainer, and I just think that's perfect.
I like the idea of the virtual 5K.
The virtual 5K.
Yeah. As much as I walk, I'm not a runner. But he looks great. Kudos to him, though. You do a before and after, it's striking.
Over 100 pounds down. We're going to end with Jelly Roll. Hey, tomorrow we're going to keep you up to date on what's happening with the winter weather storm. We have Channel 4 updates. Everything that you need to know will be right here on Coffee Country and Cody.
Yep, I'm going to dig back in the archives, too. Sister Sadie, a visit with them. The great bluegrass singer-songwriter Daryl Mosley. Hunter Hayes going to stop by. So we'll have a lot of fun and try and stay warm.
That's right, everybody. We're